So today we are going to decode a hidden pattern that algorithms just seem to absolutely love. It's kind of like a secret formula that connects some of the most watched and most wildly different characters you see all over the internet. On the one hand, you've got this language of pure high-stakes drama, a threat that could shatter the entire universe. And on the other hand, you have the language of pure chaos, this playful, silly phrase that basically promises nothing but trouble. So what on earth could possibly link a story about saving the world with a story about turning it completely upside down? You know, at first glance, it seems like absolutely nothing. But trust me, by the end of this, you'll see they are two sides of the very same ancient coin. So what is this invisible thread? What connects the world-saving hero to the world-breaking rascal? Well, let's dive in and find out. Okay, first up, let's deconstruct a modern myth. We're going to look at a digital superhero whose story, as you're about to see, is built on a blueprint that is literally thousands of years old. So, when we first meet our guy, Hanmanth, he is not a hero. Not even close. He's a petty thief, kind of a slacker, and he's way more interested in his next hustle than he is in, fighting for justice. He is pretty much the last person you'd expect to be called to greatness. So his story unfolds along this classic path that experts call the hero's journey. And you can see the key steps right here. It all starts with a call. In his case, finding this mystical stone. Then he gets the power. He has to face a huge battle, and finally he achieves victory, transforming from this self-serving thief into a true, selfless protector. It is a time-tested formula for creating order out of chaos. And this one line, it just perfectly captures that entire transformation. This is the moment he finally accepts his purpose. It's the peak of his hero's journey. Now I want you to hold that thought, the hero who creates order, because we are about to pivot to a character who does the exact opposite. All right, prepare for some serious whiplash here. We're jumping from a mythical superhero to a tiny pink-clad agent of pure, unfiltered chaos. So this is Masha. And while Hanumanth was called to protect his world, Masha's only goal is to turn her world into a giant playground. She doesn't have some grand destiny. She just has this bottomless curiosity and a complete and total disregard for rules and order. Now, Masha might not have a hero's journey, but her stories follow an equally predictable pattern. Let's call it a journey into chaos. She finds a nice, orderly space, like her friend the bear's cozy house, and then she just systematically takes it apart. Not because she's mean, but out of this pure, chaotic curiosity, leaving hilarious destruction everywhere she goes. And this quote? Oh, it just says everything about her character. She says this right after causing a total disaster in the storage room. It's a promise that everyone, including Masha herself, knows will be broken the second something interesting pops up. It's the cycle of chaos, and she is its engine. Okay, so we've got the noble protector on one side and the pint-sized menace on the other. Two characters who couldn't seem more different, right? Well, now it's time to reveal the powerful, ancient concept that actually links them together. The connection is something called an archetype. And really, you can think of archetypes as the original blueprints for characters. They're these fundamental patterns that are buried deep in our collective human brain. We just instantly recognize them, whether we're reading an ancient myth or just scrolling through our feeds. And Hanumanth and Masha are perfect, modern-day examples of two of the oldest, most powerful archetypes in all of human history. Hanumanth is the hero, and Masha, she is the trickster. One of them builds worlds, and the other one turns them completely upside down. I mean, just look at this table. When you lay it out, you can see how perfectly they mirror each other. The hero's goal is to restore order, motivated by duty, which results in a stable world. The trickster's goal? To disrupt order, driven by nothing but curiosity and play, which results in a world that's been hilariously turned on its head. They really are two sides of the same storytelling coin. So what? Why does any of this even matter? Well, the answer explains why these two characters who embody these ancient patterns are so incredibly successful on digital platforms. Why do they keep winning the content game? You could almost think of archetypes as a storytelling cheat code, especially today. They're universal, so they cross cultural barriers like they're not even there. They're predictable, which our brains find super satisfying. They tap into our fundamental human desires, our need for order, and, let's be honest, our love of a little bit of chaos. And here's the real kicker. That predictability and emotion create incredibly high engagement. Big, bright, flashing signals that tell an algorithm, hey, show people more of this.
Which leaves us with one final, and I think pretty crucial question. The hero and the trickster have dominated storytelling for thousands of years, and now it seems like algorithms are just reinforcing their power. So, are we just creating an infinite loop for ourselves, destined to see endless versions of these same two stories? Or, out of the very chaos that the trickster loves so much, could a completely new, digitally native archetype be born? It's something to think about.